The millionaire did not come to this place for peace. He came to disappear. Far away from the loud city, tall buildings and fake smiles, there stood a small wooden shack. The roof was broken. The walls were old. The place looked forgotten, just like the man who bought it. No one in the nearby town understood why a rich black man would choose to live there. He could buy anything. A big house, security, comfort, but he chose silence instead. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise. He drank his coffee alone. He spoke to no one. His phone stayed turned off. Messages from the world he left behind meant nothing to him now. People thought money made life easy, but money could not stop pain. This man carried pain deep inside him. Pain he never spoke about. Pain he never shared. A kind of pain that followed him even into his dreams. That was why he bought the shack. At night, the wind hit the wooden walls hard. The cold passed through every crack. But the man did not care. He welcomed the discomfort. He believed he deserved it. That night, the sky was dark. No moon. No stars. The man sat on a small chair near the window, staring into nothing. His mind was heavy. His chest felt tight. He stood up, walked to the door, then stopped. That was when he heard it. A sound, soft at first, then louder. A baby crying. He froze. He told himself it was not real. Maybe the wind. Maybe an animal. This place was far from people. No one came here at night. But then he heard it again. Another cry. This time closer. His heart started beating fast. He moved slowly toward the door. His hand touched the handle, but he did not open it. He did not want trouble. He did not want people. He did not want responsibility. The crying continued, weak, tired, desperate. Finally, he opened the door. Cold air rushed inside. Standing there was a young black woman. She looked scared. Her clothes were thin. Her face was pale from the cold. In her arms, she held two small babies, wrapped in old blankets. Twins. They were crying softly. Their tiny faces red from the cold night air. The man said nothing. The woman looked up at him. Her eyes full of fear and hope at the same time. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't know where else to go." The man felt something move inside his chest. A feeling he tried to kill long ago. He did not ask her name. He did not ask why she was there. Only looked at the babies. They were shaking. The woman's hands were shaking too. "I just need one night," she said quietly. "Just one." The man's mind screamed at him to close the door. He had come here to escape pain, not invite more into his life. Helping people always came with problems, expectations, loss. He had already lost too much. The woman waited. She did not step closer. She did not beg. She simply stood there, holding her babies tighter, trying to protect them from the cold. One of the babies stopped crying and looked at the man. That small face changed everything. The man felt his throat tighten. Still, he said nothing. Slowly, he stepped back. The woman's eyes filled with tears. He closed the door. The crying continued. Outside. The man leaned against the door, breathing hard. His hands were shaking now. He told himself he did the right thing. He reminded himself why he came here. No attachments. He whispered to himself. Minutes passed. The crying did not stop. He closed his eyes, but the sound followed him. It broke through his walls. It touched something buried deep inside him, something human. Finally, he opened the door again. The woman was still there. Her knees were weak. She looked like she might fall, without a word. The man stepped aside. She walked in. The door closed behind them. That night, the man did not know it yet, but the shack he bought to hide his pain had just brought pain and purpose right to his doorstep. And nothing in his life would ever be the same again. The next morning came quietly. The cold night had passed, but the silence inside the shack felt heavy. The young woman sat near the wall, holding her twins close. She had not slept. The babies were finally calm, their small chests rising and falling slowly. The man stood near the window, staring outside. He had not slept either. He kept asking himself the same question again and again. Why did I open the door? This shack was supposed to be empty, quiet, safe from the world. He did not come here to save anyone. He came here to forget who he was, but now, two small lives breathed inside his broken space. He turned and looked at them. The twins looked peaceful. Too peaceful for a world that had already been cruel to them. The woman noticed his eyes on them and pulled them closer, as if afraid he might change his mind. He cleared his throat. "You can rest," he said softly. His voice sounded strange to his own ears. He had not spoken this gently in years. She nodded. Surprised. "Thank you," she whispered. He stepped outside, needing air. The cold hit his face. But it felt honest, real. He leaned against the wall of the shack and closed. His eyes. Memories came rushing back. Not of money. Not of success, but of the day his life broke. He was not always rich. He grew up poor, raised by a mother who worked 2 jobs and still smiled at night. She taught him one thing above all: never forget people. When you succeed. He remembered the promise he made to her. Then he remembered how he broke it, years later. After building his business, after the money came, after people praised his name, something went wrong. Someone he trusted betrayed him. Someone he helped turned against him. And because of that mistake, someone he loved paid the price. The pain never left. World blamed him. He blamed himself. That was the night he stopped being human and started being careful. He stopped trusting. He stopped caring. And finally, he ran. He bought the shack far from everything that reminded him of who he used to be. Inside, the woman shifted slightly. One of the twins began to cry again, softly this time. The man went back in. He saw her struggling to calm the baby. Her hands were tired. Her eyes were heavy with fear and exhaustion. "You haven't slept," he said. She shook her head. "I was afraid you might change your mind," she replied honestly. He said nothing. He moved to a small cupboard and took out the little food he had. It was not much. Just bread and a small bottle of milk. He placed it on the table. Her eyes widened. "I don't want to take," she started. "You're not taking," he said. "You're eating." She paused, then nodded. As she fed the babies, he noticed something. She never ate first. She always fed them before herself. That small act hit him harder than any words. He sat down across from her. "Why here?" he asked. She looked down. "I was walking all night," she said. "Every door I knocked on was closed." He understood that feeling too well. She did not ask his name. She did not ask about his life. She respected his silence. That made him uneasy. Most people wanted something from him: money, favors, power. But this woman only wanted safety. Twins finished feeding and fell asleep again. Man stood up. "You can stay for now," he said. Her eyes filled with tears. But she did not cry. "Thank you," she whispered again. As he turned away, he felt something crack inside him. Wall he built around his heart had a small break. Now, and he knew something dangerous. Letting people in meant pain. But shutting them out meant loneliness. That morning, in a broken shack far from the world, a man who ran from his life began facing it again, without knowing that the biggest test was yet to come. The sun was higher now, but the cold had not left the air. The young black woman sat quietly on the floor of the shack. The twins slept in her arms, wrapped tightly in the old blanket. She watched the man move around the small space. Careful, silent, as if he was afraid to disturb. Something fragile. She had seen that look before. Not kindness. Not cruelty. But fear. Fear of getting involved fear of caring. She understood that fear well. Her life had taught her to read people quickly. When the man stepped outside again, she took a deep breath. Her body felt heavy. Her mind felt even heavier. She did not know how long she could stay here. She did not know what would happen next at all. She knew was that she could not go back outside. Not with the twins, not again. She looked down at their faces, two lives that depended on her completely. Her story did not begin with pain. It began with hope. She grew up in a small town where dreams were simple. She wanted a normal life, a safe home, a family. When she fell in love, she believed in promises. She believed words meant something, but when she became pregnant, everything changed. The man who promised to stay slowly disappeared. First his calls stopped, then his visits. Then one day, he was gone. People blamed her. They said she was too young, too careless, too trusting. No one asked where he was. No one asked how she felt. She worked hard, even while pregnant. She cleaned houses. She stood on her feet all day. When the twins were born, her body was weak, but her heart was strong. She told herself she would survive. She had to. But life did not slow down for her pain. Her landlord raised the rent. Her job let her go. The shelter told her they were full. One woman even looked at her twins and shook her head. That's too much responsibility, she said. As if the babies were a mistake. That night, she walked. No plan. No direction. Just hope that someone, somewhere, would see her as human. That was how she found the shack. She did not know who lived there. She only saw a light in the window. She knocked once, twice, then waited in the cold. When the door first closed on her, she felt her heart break. But she stayed, because leaving meant death. Inside the shack, the man returned. He noticed her eyes were wet. You don't have to explain, he said quietly, surprising himself. But she shook her head. I think you should know, she replied. She told him everything. Not with anger, not with blame, just truth. Her voice did not shake. Her words were calm. That scared him more than tears would have. As she spoke, the twins moved slightly in their sleep. The man listened. He did not interrupt. He did not judge. Something inside him softened. When she finished, there was silence. I don't want pity, she said. I just want a chance. The man nodded slowly. A chance, that word followed him. He had been given many chances in life. Money, power, success. And yet, here he was, hiding from the world. He looked at the twins again. They trusted him without knowing him. That scared him. Trust was dangerous, but maybe necessary. You can stay a little longer, he said. Her shoulders dropped in relief. Not because she won, but because she could breathe. Outside, the wind passed through the trees. Inside, two broken lives shared the same small space. Neither of them knew it yet, but this woman with nowhere to go was not just a guest. She was the beginning of a truth the man had been running from. And soon, the past would knock again harder than before. The shack was never meant to feel warm. But that morning, something had changed. The fire in the old heater was weak, yet the air inside felt different. The young woman sat on the small bed, gently rocking the twins. Their cries had turned into soft sounds, almost like whispers. The man watched from a distance. He told himself he was only being careful, that he was only helping for one day. Nothing more. But kindness has a way of breaking promises made to pain. He placed a cup of warm tea on the table and pushed it toward her. You should drink, he said. She looked at the cup as if it were something precious. Thank you, she replied. She took small sips, careful not to wake the babies. The warmth spread through her hands first, then her chest. Her shoulders slowly relaxed for the first time in days. The man noticed. He noticed everything. The way she moved slowly, protecting the twins. The way she checked their breathing again and again. The way her eyes stayed alert, even when her body begged for rest. "You can sleep," he said. "I'll be here." She looked at him, unsure. "Are you sure?" she asked. He nodded. "I won't leave." Those words surprised both of them. She lay down carefully, still holding the twins. Within minutes, her breathing changed. She was asleep, deep, heavy, the kind of sleep only exhaustion can bring. The man sat on the chair across the room. He did not move. He did not check his phone. He did not think about money or the life he left behind. He watched. One of the twins stirred and made a small sound. Without thinking, the man stood up and gently placed a finger near the baby's tiny hand. The baby grabbed it. His body froze. That small grip was strong, stronger than he expected. Memory flashed through his mind. A hospital room, a silent goodbye. He pulled his hand back quickly, his chest tight. Not again, he told himself. But the feeling stayed. Hours passed. When the woman woke up, she looked confused. For a moment, she did not know where she was. Then she saw the man still sitting there. "You stayed," she said softly. He nodded. She sat up slowly. "I haven't slept like that since they were born," she said. He did not answer. He handed her a small plate with bread. "Eat," he said. She hesitated, then broke the bread in half. She gave the bigger piece to him. He stared at it. "I'm fine," he said. "So am I," she replied gently. He realized something. Then she was not weak. She was tired. There was a difference. Later that day, he brought clean water. He found extra blankets. Small things, but small things mattered. She did not ask questions. She did not push. She accepted kindness with respect, not expectation. That made it easier and harder. As the sun started to set, the twins cried again. She tried to calm them, but her hands were shaking from hunger and stress. The man stepped closer. "May I?" he asked, pointing at one baby. She hesitated, then nodded. He held the baby, awkwardly, unsure. The crying slowed. The baby looked at him. And smiled. A real smile. His breath caught. That smile went straight through the wall around his heart. He looked away quickly. That night, as the woman fed the twins, she spoke quietly. "I know I can't stay forever," she said. "I don't want to be a burden." He listened. "You're not," he said. She looked up, surprised. He stood near the door, his back to her. "I know what it feels like," he continued. "To feel unwanted." Silence filled the room. The woman did not speak. She understood. Outside, the wind howled. Inside, something gentle was growing. The man did not know when it happened. But the shack no longer felt empty. That night, for the first time in years, he slept without nightmares, and he did not realize it yet. But this small kindness had already changed the direction of 3 lives forever. The next morning did not feel like the others. The shack was quiet, but the silence was no longer heavy. Sunlight slipped through the broken window and touched the wooden floor. The twins slept peacefully, their tiny hands resting on their mother's chest. The man stood near the sink, staring at his reflection in the cracked mirror. He barely recognized himself, not because of age, but because something inside him had shifted. He turned when he heard the woman's voice. "I need to tell you something," she said softly. Her tone was different, careful, serious. He nodded and sat down across from her. She took a deep breath. "When I was walking last night," she began, "I heard your name." His body stiffened. She noticed. "There were 2 men talking near the road," she continued. "They said a rich man bought land here. A man who disappeared." The room felt smaller. "I didn't know it was you," she said quickly. I swear. He stayed silent. She lowered her eyes. I don't want you to think I came here because of money, she said. If you want me to leave, I will. The words hung in the air. For years, people only saw him for one thing, his wealth, his power. He hated that truth. He stood up slowly. You should know something too, he said. She looked up. I am that man, he continued. The one they talk about. Her face went pale. She pulled the twins closer. I didn't mean to, she started. He raised his hand. I know. Silence again. She looked around the small shack. Confused, but why here? She asked. He looked toward the window. Because money couldn't fix what I broke, he said simply. She waited. So he told her. Not everything, but enough. He spoke about success that came too fast. About trust given too easily. About one decision that destroyed a life he loved. He did not say names. He did not say details. He did not need to. Pain speaks the same language in everyone. I thought if I ran far enough, it would stop, he said. It didn't. The woman listened carefully. When he finished, she did not judge him. She did not look afraid. She looked understanding. That kind of pain, she said slowly, doesn't leave when you run. He looked at her. It waits. Those words hit him harder than anything else. She shifted the twins gently. I know, she continued. I tried running too. From shame. From people. From myself. Their eyes met. Two broken paths crossing. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Both of them froze. No one ever came. Here. The knock came again. Harder. The man's heart started beating fast. The past had found him. He walked to the door slowly and opened it. Two men stood outside. City clothes. Cold eyes. We've been looking for you, one of them said. The woman stood up. Fear in her face. The man stepped forward, blocking her view. I'm not interested, he said. The man outside smirked. You can't hide forever, he replied. People want answers. The man looked back at the woman and the twins, then back at the men. I've given enough, he said firmly. The men stared at him, then turned away. This isn't over, one said. When the door closed, the woman's hands were shaking. They were from your past? She asked. He nodded. She swallowed. I don't want trouble for you, she said. If I need to leave? No, he said quickly. That surprised her. You didn't come here for my money, he said. And I didn't open the door because of guilt. He paused. I opened it because you reminded me I'm still human. Tears filled her eyes. Outside, the wind picked up. Inside, something stronger than fear took shape. The truth was out now, and once truth is spoken, nothing stays the same again. The men did not return. But their visit changed everything. The shack felt smaller after that day, as if the past had pushed its way inside and refused to leave. The man stood near the door long after it closed, listening to the silence that followed. He knew one thing now. Running was no longer an option. The woman sat quietly on the bed, rocking the twins. Her eyes followed him, not with fear, but with concern. You don't have to do this alone, she said softly. Those words stayed with him. For years he believed strength meant standing alone, carrying pain in silence, trusting no one. But strength had brought him here alone, broken, hiding. The next morning, he made a decision, a real one. He turned his phone on for the first time in months. Messages filled the screen. Missed calls, warnings, questions. He ignored most of them. He made one call. Find me a doctor, he said. And a safe place. The woman watched him quietly. For us? She asked, unsure. For you, he replied. And the twins? She shook her head. I don't want charity, she said. He looked at her. Neither do I. He answered. Later that day, a car arrived near the shack. Dust rose as it stopped. The woman held her breath. The man walked outside calmly. "This is not the end," he said to the driver. "It's the start." They left the shack before sunset. The woman looked back once, unsure if she would ever return. The man did not look back at all. The new place was simple, clean, safe. Not luxury. Just dignity. A doctor checked the twins. They were weak, but healthy. The woman cried silently as she watched them sleep in warm beds. The man stood at the door. He felt something close to peace. But peace came with responsibility. In the days that followed, the man did something unexpected. He stayed. He did not disappear again. He helped the woman find work, but only after she was ready. He supported her education plans. He listened when she spoke. He never treated her like someone he saved. He treated her like someone he respected. That mattered more than money. The woman grew stronger every day. Not because life became easy, but because someone believed in her, without controlling her. The twins laughed for the first time. The man heard that laughter from another room, and he smiled. One evening, the woman sat across from him. "You didn't have to do all this," she said. He nodded. "I know." "Then why?" she asked. He thought for a moment. "Because helping you didn't weaken me," he said. "It healed me." She looked at him carefully. "You're still hurting," she said. "Yes," he replied. "But I'm not hiding anymore." Outside, news spread. The man had returned. People talked. Some praised him. Some criticized him. But for the first time, he did not care. He had faced his past. He had chosen purpose over fear. One night, he visited the old shack alone. It looked smaller now, less powerful. He stood there quietly, then turned away. He did not need it anymore. Back at the house, the twins slept peacefully. The woman sat by the window, studying. A future was forming. Slowly. Honestly. The man understood something important then. Pain does not disappear when you run. It transforms when you face it. And sometimes, healing begins the moment you stop being afraid to care. Time moved quietly after that. Not fast, not loud, but steady. The kind of time that heals instead of hurting. Months passed, and the small house no longer felt temporary. The twins grew stronger. Their cries turned into laughter that filled every room. The woman learned to smile again, not because life became perfect, but because it became possible. The man watched it all from a distance at first. He did not rush happiness. He had learned that some things grow best when left alone. The woman found work helping other young mothers. She studied at night when the twins slept. She carried herself differently now. Not afraid. Not broken, confident. One evening, she stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her simple dress. "I have an interview tomorrow," she said. The man nodded. "You'll do well." She smiled. "You were the first person who said that to me," she replied. He looked down. Sometimes, words matter more than money. The twins ran toward him, holding his legs. He laughed, a real laugh, one that surprised even him. That sound was proof. Proof that he was alive again. Later that night, they sat quietly. "I was thinking about the shack," the woman said. He looked up. "I'm glad you don't live there anymore," she added. "So am I," he replied. The truth was, the shack had served its purpose. It held his pain. It hid his fear. But it was never meant to be home. This was, not because of walls, but because of people. News came one morning. A letter. From someone connected to his past. He opened it slowly. It was an apology. Not perfect. Not complete. But real. For the first time, the past did not control him. He folded the letter and placed it away. Some things did not need an answer. That afternoon, he took the woman and the twins for a walk. The sun was warm. The air was calm. She watched the twins play and spoke quietly. "You saved us," she said. He shook his head. "No," he replied. "We found each other." She understood. They had not met by accident. Pain had brought them together. But healing kept them there. As the sun began to set, the man looked at the sky. "I used to think my life ended when I lost everything," he said. "But I was wrong." The woman listened. It was just beginning. The twins laughed again, chasing each other. That sound followed him into the night. In the weeks that followed, the man used his money differently, quietly, without attention. He supported shelters, helped mothers, built safe spaces, not because he felt guilty, but because he understood. The woman stood beside him, not behind, strong, independent, whole. One night, the man sat alone and thought about the door he almost never opened. If he had closed it forever. He shook his head. Some doors change lives. Some moments define who we become. The shack remained empty, but his life was full. And in the end, the man who ran from pain learned something simple, something true. Pain does not destroy us. It teaches us who we are meant to be, if we are brave enough to listen.